It was a long flight, and I hardly slept during the 12-hour journey. When I arrived at the airport that night, I was very tired. There was supposed to be another flight, but not after 20 hours. I did not want to spend all that time wandering and sleeping at the airport. After going through the immigration, I searched online for a cheap hotel. I desperately wanted to sleep on a bed. So I found this place not too far from the airport. Good thing I checked in my heavy luggage all the way to the last destination. The only thing I had with me was my backpack with all the essential items in it. It took the taxi barely 13 minutes to get me to the hotel. When I entered the lobby, I saw only two people, a large old man sleeping on a chair with his face upward, and a raven-haired receptionist standing behind the counter. She composed a wide grin when I approached her, revealing a coven of misshapen teeth. As I was checking in, I noticed a third person standing shyly in the office. The office was quite dark, and I could not see what that person looked like. When I made the full payment in cash, she gave me the key to my room, room 503. As I walked to the elevator, the old man was no longer around. It was strange that he vanished so quickly and silently. The elevator arrived on the 5th floor, opening to a defaced corridor. Not very welcoming, but it did not matter. A bed in a room was all I needed. I entered my room, turned the lights on, closed the door, dropped my bag to the floor, and tossed the key on the bed. It was already an hour past midnight. Like a falling tree, I crashed on the bed and fell asleep. After a while, I woke up with a light headache and feeling very cold, like I was disturbed by a sudden gush of wind in the winter. Realizing the lights were still on, I checked the time. It was 2:14 a.m. I slept for only 1 hour. Still exhausted, I tried to sleep again, but not before attempting to turn off the lights. As I approached the switch panel, I heard a soft growl. Getting closer to the panel, I heard it again, slightly louder this time. My hands began to shake. Is someone in this room? I thought out loud. There it went again. Maybe I was imagining things. So I told myself to go back to sleep but leave the lights on. Laying on the bed, I closed my eyes. It was then when I sensed a presence of a looming figure somewhere in the room. I rose from the bed and raised my arms in a defensive stance. My lips twitched rapidly as I looked around the room. Nothing but my very own reflection in the mirror. Once more, I tried to sleep. The moment I closed my eyes, I sensed it again, and there was a loud bellow from inside the room. I searched the entire room, wondering if there was an intruder. There was no one, just me and my reflection. Standing in front of the mirror, I shut my eyes and took deep breaths. A chill suddenly went through me. Even with my eyes closed, I sensed its presence getting stronger right in front of me. Then I felt a frigid hand grabbing my neck. I started to choke as its grip tightened. My heart raced like it was about to burst. Then my eyes opened. Again, only my reflection in the mirror. The icy cold fingers around my neck, gone. Then I saw in the mirror a dark bluish handprint disappearing on the surface of my neck. Without a moment's hesitation, I grabbed my phone and the room key, and then I snatched my bag. Before I opened the door to exit the room, I slipped the key into my pocket and then called the 24-hour taxi service. My call was answered. Thankfully, there was a taxi just a few minutes away from the hotel. Trembling, I opened the door slowly. The corridor seemed empty. When I reached the elevator, I pressed the call button. A sudden movement behind me caught my eye. There it was, a towering figure, shrouded in shadow, as still as a statue, mocking me. It did not move. After the longest few seconds of my life, the elevator arrived. I entered it in a blink of an eye and started smashing the ground floor button. The figure was getting closer. I pressed the close button repeatedly until the elevator door closed. Gasping for air, I waited for what felt like an eternity before reaching the lobby. It was deserted. Even the receptionist was nowhere to be seen. I dashed and exited the building without looking at whatever was behind me. On the other side of the road was my ride with the driver waiting for me. I got into the car and told the driver to get me to the airport as fast as he could. Sleeping at the airport where people were around was not a bad idea after all. As the driver steadily drove, I looked behind me and saw the hotel disappearing in the distance, never to be visited by me ever again.